Yeah. I had some more stuff I wanted to do. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna work on it today. I couldn't think of a game I wanted to play in particular, so make a game. But yeah. There's some work I wanted to do. All this fucking UI code is like bad, and I need to do something different. So I want to come up with like a thing for that. I was gonna come up with a plan for it before I started, but I didn't really think about it until just now, and it's like, alright, we'll just do it now. Alright, let's see. Are you coding, son? Yeah, we're coding. Alright. So we need... I've also hooked it up to Git, so now I can publish changes and stuff and be able to roll stuff back and things like that. So... Oops, I forgot to give it an extension. Make a new UI to deal with, and then we'll see how it goes. Alright, give me 1 second. I forgot to double check and make sure I don't have any like sensitive information, like my fucking bank accounts or something open in my web browser. So let me make sure I don't have any like docs stuff. Let's see. Okay, so that's fine. That's just the music that's playing. That one's just a fucking random YouTube video in its own window. All right, close that. And okay, I have some school tabs open, but I'll just not open those, and then we should be good. Okay. All right, we're good. Okay, nothing to worry about. I won't accidentally dox myself and get banned for doxing. What's funny? So I had there's like this My Psionic Warriors seal this boo-boo bear within the earth meme I clicked on, like, and then just started tabbing to other YouTube videos. But the window doesn't update, so like the title of the window is still My Psionic Warriors. Even though it's just like this video game music compilation thing. It's so weird that like the window title just doesn't update. I don't know what makes it do that, but it's pretty funny. Anyways, so let's make some shitty paint drawings. How about so right now my UI code is bad. Like, considering how long it took to add this like new feature into it, like this shit is just not good. What I think I need is I need to redo it so it's a bit better of an object-oriented thing, like playing Monster Hunter Stories 2. Oh, well, if you know exactly why, then hey, that's good at least. But is the reason that you need to grind more, or what? Man, I wish I could use like my laptop as a drawing tablet, because it has like a pen and a touchscreen on it, but I don't think I can like hook up my laptop to my computer as like an input device. I don't think that's a thing. Unless it is. Can you do that? Touchscreen laptop as input for desktop. I don't know if that, like, works. I don't think it does. Like, I don't know. Artificial. No hit fights, 0 monster. I see. Huh. Is there, so what is it later after the early on part where you have that artificial bullshit? You could consistently no-hit any monster because you could just freely counter their attacks and they couldn't do anything. I see. Oh, well. That's silly. All right. Can't counter the second attack. That sucks. That sounds pretty poo-poo. Anyways, so our UI, right? Like, we're gonna have windows. Careful balance of choosing when to write on and cancel and attack. You want to just write out. I see. That's very unfortunate, I suppose. All right. That's how we're looking at this, right? The UI is gonna have a couple things, right? It has windows that have like a button. Windows need text. And possibly a scroll bar. So, if we have our object here, the window has two things. It has its size, and then it has its like inner size, right? So this would actually probably be a good thing to keep track of in the window object, just so we do the math once when it's created. I mean, it doesn't really matter because it's just like subtraction and addition and stuff, but it'll make things cleaner, I think, because you can just ask it, you know, give me your inner width, inner height. So window can have it has a border. It has a width and height. It has an inner. Okay. I wish I could use a fucking pen for this or something. Having a drawing tablet is just so handy for stuff that's not even drawing. I really like it. I wish I could like hook up my laptop like that. Okay, here's a Reddit post. Looking to use touchscreen laptop as a drawing tablet for PC. Oh! I guess what I could do... Okay, so I could either sync files, or I could use my laptop. I could just, like, screen, you know, like, fucking remote desktop into my computer. I guess that would work, technically. I don't have anything like that set up, but that might not be a bad idea. I could do that on the side while we're because that would actually be... If I could find my backpack. I don't know where I put it. Coloring a few manga pages. It's freaked out when you learned you didn't have a drawing tablet, you did it with your mouse. Oh, dude. Doing anything artistic with your mouse is such a nightmare. Like, I couldn't stand that. Right, but that's still, like, it's such a nightmare with a mouse. Like, doing anything with a mouse is annoying. I don't know. Aside from, like, playing an FPS game. I guess it's just if you get used to it, but I find that, like, especially, like, if I have a line, right, and I'm trying to, like, color inside of it with, like, a brush, that's, right, let's see, you have, like, your brush and you're trying to color it, like, a mouse just gives such imprecise, like, angles for when you're trying to, like, match whatever line. Unless you just have it on different layers and you go back with an eraser. I don't know. To me, it just seems like... because I'm so used to using a pen and everything, like, it just seems like a necessary headache. Sure, but, like, even if I'm zoomed in, right? And it's like, okay, here's the line. And it's like I'm zoomed in so far that the line is just, like, a straight line. Like, it's still a pain to follow the line unless you, like, rotate it so it's, like, vertical or horizontal or something. So then you could, because, I don't know, the mouse just doesn't give, like, precise movements. I don't like it for stuff like that. It feels very limiting. Like, I've done stuff like that before with, like, GIMP and everything, image processing stuff. I've done those kind of things. Maybe? I don't know, it just doesn't feel as natural and nice as using a pen. Alright, whatever, dude. Whatever you say. Anyways, okay, so windows aren't, like, the first thing, though. So a UI from the basic level, like, for the entire screen width, has a layer. It's like an onion, you know, it's got layers. Each layer is built up of windows. Like, it has, like, a window. I think everything will just be windows, right, on a layer. Like, each layer is just built up of windows that you can place around. Windows can be bordered or borderless. Their inner width and height depends on if they have a border or not. Scrollable. So if they're scrollable, they have a view width and height, and a view position X and Y. Because maybe we want a scrollable window to the left and right. I don't know. Wrap content. Will horizontally wrap content to inner width. It goes, all right, Cammy, what's up? Welcome back. I decided to mess with this again because the UI code was really bothering me. That's kind of what this area of the game is. It's just not technically a UI window. It's its own thing. But I could then just make it a borderless UI window that just displays the game over here. Because it's kind of already what it is, right? Like, we have a camera that has a width and height in characters. So 60 characters wide, 50 characters tall, and it has a position. And then when the game is rendered, And all this stuff needs to get out of the main too. I need to make like another class that holds a lot of this stuff and take it out of the main so it's not all clunky and cluttered. When the game is rendered, let's see, where does it... where does it draw? Okay, so the dungeon is what handles, I think it's in map. So when the map is rendered, it just goes from 0 to camera width and renders out from the camera's position to whatever, and like kind of shows. So the game window, how it displays the game, it can actually scroll around if the dungeon is bigger than what can be displayed, but I think it would make more sense to just tuck it into a UI window on top of that or something. I don't know, but yeah, I'm just trying to like plan out a cleaner version of the UI so it's a bit easier to extend and do things I want to do with. You know. Now, I think I want to be able to color individual letters, like, instead of having, like, an entire line of text have its own background and foreground. I think every letter should have a background and foreground, honestly. Which, like, is kind of a thing for the actors. Like, you know, they're just a single character that gets rendered, but they have their own background and foreground so they can be colored however you want them. But I think every single character on the screen should probably just be this, right? Like, there's no reason not to, because when it gets, like, when the code gets all shuffled back together, like, you know, you're putting the cards back in the deck of cards to do everything, it, you know, it'll make it easier on me if I want to have, like, multicolored text and stuff in the, in menus, and have individual, like, have different colored characters on the same line and everything. Like, that seems like something I might want for the UI. So why not just set it up so it works that way in the first place, you know? So here's what we're gonna do, right? We're gonna have a layer be an object. The layer object is gonna have content, and that's like the array. Instead of making the content like a weird array or something, I want to make this more like explicit. Like, okay, the layer is an object and not just like the indices of an array, right? Like, that's not very clear, and it looks kind of confusing when I look at it. So the content of the layer is just like, okay, this is an array that gets, all the windows get pushed into it, and you know, you just draw the layer by looping through for each X in the list of content, you know, call each entry's render function. And inside of the Windows render function is going to call, you know, it has its own content, you know, which is, that's the array, which is, maybe that's already kind of how it works, but it's not quite how it works. Like, you know, hoverables and stuff are like different, right? I don't think those should be their own thing, right? I think the content of the window should include buttons, text, hoverables, you know, all that kind of stuff should just be inside of this. So no matter what's in there, whatever group of materials is inside the window, it just kind of loops through it and just displays it all. Yeah, and other windows. So like a window inside of a window technically would be possible with this setup, because all you have to do is say, okay, the window's content could be just like a sub window. So it could easily just break that down and keep going. And I wouldn't, in that way, it's like a very generic thing where it's like layer, dot content dot window, and then dot whatever. I think that's a good idea. That it kind of is similar to that already, but like my code's just not very clean. I think, and I want to just kind of redo it a little bit. Especially with how it renders stuff, it's kind of messy. So, so the UI is going to be like a big parent object that holds all of this stuff. So when we render our game, all we call is just like here, main UI.render. Boom, there you go. That takes care of everything. And that way it'll do all of this stuff for us, and we don't have to really think about it too much. Okay. So it's kind of already set up like that, but this needs a lot of work and redesign, I think, for this stuff. So we'll figure it out. Mainly, I think instead of content being like lines that are explicitly set, I don't know. I want to redesign it a little bit, but I'm not exactly sure how different this is going to be from what I already have. But yeah, so we have that. Goes in content, goes into window, and then window has content. And then it'll just keep going until it ends. It does all its stuff. So if we start with that, right? Let's start with that. So let's have our UI be first. This class, I think, is fine. Because it kind of already works how I'm thinking, right? Like this part, I think it's mainly the windows and the buttons and the text and stuff like that. That's the part that needs more work than this. Like this one's okay, as it is, I believe. Let's also import some of this stuff, and just in case we need it. I don't know exactly what we're going to be using out of this, but we'll see. Okay, so it makes a copy, not a deep copy, but it just makes a reference to the TCOD console that it needs to print to. And then it does its thing. So adding a window, it tries to add a window at this position in the array. If I put an exception here. Oh, okay, so if you try to access a position in the array that's beyond what already exists, it needs to add in some empty layers so you can get there. Okay, that's fine, I think. So, oops. Attempt to add a window at given layer. I should really, I think, isn't there an exception for like index out of bounds? I should probably explicitly say for index out of bounds exceptions. I don't know if that's like just a built-in thing I can put here. Right. And that way, when I look at it, I know, oh, that's the error I'm handling here. Yeah. So Python exceptions list. So like a built-in exceptions. Here we go. Concrete exceptions. EOF, floating point generator import, index error. When sequence subscript is out of range. I think it's just index error, right? No, we are not using Pygame. What we are using here is something called TCOD. It's a library. So it's a library that kind of uses some C code, and it's I think a lot more efficient than Pygame is. I don't know for sure, but TCOD uses SDL to render. I think Pygame uses OpenGL, maybe, or maybe they both use SDL. I don't know for sure. But TCOD has some other stuff built in, specifically for roguelikes to help. Like it has some map functionality that's good to use for your map, and it also has like pathfinding stuff and things like that built in. it's mainly that Python is going to be slow, right? You have to pay careful attention to when you're making a game in Python. You really need to pay attention to your game's like loop and how long it takes to run and what stuff you're doing and how much time you're taking. Be a dictionary. You're right. Yeah, a dictionary would make so much more sense. So instead of this, just do that. Yeah, dictionaries are nice for that kind of stuff. And then we can do... And then, let me get the syntax. Python dictionary. Okay, Python dictionary. Yeah, they can change, add, and remove items. Yeah, that's exactly what we're looking for. So, so adding a new item to the dictionary, I think you just do it. You just go layer and then equals win, and that should just work since it's a dictionary, and it should create like a key at layer. So layer will be a number, and it'll create a key, and then win will be whatever. Now, are dictionaries sorted? Ordered? Dictionaries are ordered in version 3.7. Are we in Python 3.7? I don't know. We're in 3.9. Okay, we're good. Yeah, if you want to make a game, it's probably better to use Unity and stuff, I would say, honestly, because if you can get used to Unity from the start and actually get used to the IDE, you'll probably have a much better time overall. And Unity will let you do 2D and 3D and all this kind of stuff. There's other engines, but I would say definitely pick like an IDE and don't do it from scratch. I'm just being silly and doing this to like help myself learn more about programming and stuff. Ordered but not sorted. Oh, right. Yeah, we need it to kind of be... We very specifically need it to go from 0 to 1 to 2. I see. Okay, so... Can we sort it? Because I don't want to have to sort it every time we try to render, right? I mean, because either we're going to be rendering once every frame, you know, and have to keep sorting the list every single time, which is annoying. Yeah, I guess we could just cache it and just do it once. That's true. Okay. I mean, we could do it inside of the UI itself, right? Like, right? We could just update this whenever we add a window. That's when we update this, and then we just iterate through layer sort. Or call it layer cache, why not? Let's get really descriptive. Yeah, so we do that, and then when we add a window, so if layer is not in here already, we just add layer in to its sorted position, and we're good to go. So let's see. So how do we check? There's like built-in. Yeah, lists have a sort method, so we can just append it and then call sort. Okay. Handling input, this shouldn't be in the UI, I don't think. Or maybe it should. I don't know. Like, no, because yeah, input. So the input itself getting caught is not in the UI. Yeah, that's fine because it passes in what the input is. Okay, so yeah, But this, like, a lot of this code needs to get put into, like, an engine class or something, right? Where we don't have this big chunky game loop thing here. We put that somewhere else and just, like, have this be nicer. A lot of this stuff I want to move out as well into something else. And a lot of these functions, like, especially the stuff for handling input and everything, like, this should just go into, like, an input class. So we'll need to mess with that later. Okay, so now what we do is for, let's just do L, layer index cache. We call in self.layers at L. So a layer is made up of, I think should a layer have content, or should a layer just directly have windows that are in the layer? I guess, like, because we could just do it like this. No, because that's only going to allow one window, right? The layer at that key is only going to be equal to one thing. So if we want multiple things in that collection, we're going to need a layer should actually be an object, or it should be its own class. That should just be another thing. Yep. And so to that end, I'm gonna make it its own thing. And we're just gonna, if the layer doesn't exist, we want to make a new object for it, and then if it does exist, you know, whatever. So I think we can just check if self.layers at layer is what is that if it's not already there in Python? We can just test it. Let's get our handy dandy Python terminal. Layers equals this. Layers at 1. Oh. Key error happens. Layers dot has 1. What? Dictionary object has no attribute has. Yeah, I'm looking. I got w3schools.com open on my other monitor, so let me that doesn't have, okay, Python dictionaries, access items, get keys. Oh, I think we need to get the keys and then check. So layers dot keys, and then layers dot keys dot has. No. I mean, I could pull them up online, right? I can just Google it. Python dictionary class docs. Docs.python.org. Data structures. Okay, using lists, list comprehensions. Where is the dictionary? Sets. Okay, here we go, dictionaries. It doesn't say anything special. Oh, 5.5, okay. No, yeah, it just, see mapping types dictionary. Built-in mapping types dict. Okay. A list of all the keys used. So what if we do list of... Oh. So we can do list dot has, or whatever it's called. Because it may not be has, but lists I think have like a function called like contains or something. Maybe they don't actually. I guess it doesn't. Okay, let me just Google. Let me just Google how to do it. I don't care about like learning how to do it or coming up with my own solution. I'm just gonna see how you do it. So keys, and then use if statement and in. Oh, the in operator. There's the in. Yeah, it's just the in operator. Okay, I didn't know that was a thing either. Cool. So if layer in self.layers.keys. Yeah, that's how it gets sometimes. You always got to look up the syntax and remember how to do it. Okay, these are gonna happen regardless. So these actually shouldn't be in the function. And then so if the layer exists, else you got to make a new one. Yeah. So self.layers. Okay, and that should work, because I think you can just like if there's nothing there and you do like layers at 1 equals 2. Yeah. Okay. Oh, it does. Okay. Cool. So that's pretty self-explanatory. I don't really need to comment here for myself. I'll be able to see that. So when we initialize a layer, layers are gonna need, layers can have a list of windows. Well, layers have content, there we go. So, and we can give it content if we want to. If we want to pre-construct some content and toss it in the layer, we can do that. Or we can just have it be empty and then put the stuff in there. So here's that. I don't know if putting a return here is going to cause a problem. I'm just going to... whatever. So now we need to add window. So now we can just kind of call add window here. Yeah, that'll work. And then we can construct the layer with the window we're trying to add, so we can or rather construct it with the window like that, because the window needs to be in a list. So there we go. That way we don't have to do anything special. We don't have to call this again. We just construct it with that, and easy peasy. Now when we add a window, we just need to really self.content.append the window. And that's pretty much it. There you go. Pretty self-explanatory. Okay, so the layer should have a render function, so we can just call that. And just keep rolling it down the line, I think, would be better. And it looks like we need to pass mouse pause for input-related stuff, I guess. If it's, yeah, for the hoverables. Layer underscore index. For which one? Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right. Okay, I'm gonna go back to my naming. I believe what I've been doing with this project for naming schemes is all of my variable names have underscores. All of my class names are capitalized letter stuff, and then my function names. Oh wait, no. Okay, my function names have underscores because Python can let stuff be weird sometimes with like types and everything. If my function names have underscores, I think my variable names should be camel case then. That way I know just by what I'm looking at, is this a function? Is this a class? Is this a, you know, what is it? Yeah, and there's no reason to, like, mix it here in the fucking arguments. Like, what am I doing? That's part of the thing I also want to refactor is how my naming scheme and make sure it stays consistent for the project. Your dark lunch. So right now we're trying to redo the UI and we're coming up with, like, you know, a convention for the project so all of our variable names match and everything. So I think what we're gonna do is, we're gonna have functions have an underscore and it's all lowercase. Variable names are gonna be camel case, and then class names are gonna be like a capital word, and probably also like camel case in a sense, but it's just gonna be like every word is capitalized and stuck together with no underscores. Like 10 p.m. The good old 10 p.m. lunch. Yummy, yummy. Okay, so handling input also needs to do its thing. So but input needs to be backwards. Because input you want to go from the topmost to the back. Although you really just want the topmost layer. Unless, do we still want input like from the mouse and stuff to work on layers that are like visible but not? I don't think so. No, we only want the top layer. So Layers need a visibility. Because we don't want to have to keep... I mean, we could... I think we want to construct layers and just either draw them or don't draw them, right? So layers need visible. To know if we need to draw them and also if we need to, That's capitalized falseness, isn't it? I don't think we do. That's the thing. I don't think we want input to work on a window you're not focused on, or like a layer that's not the topmost, like, focused layer, right? Because we're not really gonna have complex cases like Windows where it's like, oh, if I have, like, you know, you think about this like layers. This is my topmost one, but oh, I can click over here and switch over to that one. I don't think I want that in the game. That's a little bit too much, and I don't think the UIs are gonna get like that crazy. Yeah. Yeah, I think the mouse event is just gonna be on the topmost layer, and if you click over here, like, and there's nothing there, it just doesn't do anything, I think. Until you get out of this layer and go back to the previous ones, you know? So, what we need to do, then, is we need to... We need to do... We need to check... Use the tkinter module to make life simple. No, I'll use my vanilla code. I could use tkinter, I suppose. I don't really know how to use tkinter. And I don't know if it would work with tcod. Maybe tcod has, like, stuff built in for that. I don't know. Yeah, tcod doesn't have any UI stuff. Now, I guess I could use tkinter. So tcod is a little library for Python. It's kind of oriented around making a roguelike game. So everything in tcod is meant to help facilitate. Oops, no, stop. Well, I don't currently active. There we go. I guess I could tell it to always do main. I suppose I missed an option, but so tcod handles, it uses a SDL to draw stuff and everything, and it also has some functions for like the visibility here being a thing, and like calculating that kind of stuff, like what squares in the array are coming into visibility, what's in memory, stuff like that. It handles it helps provide functionality so you can make your roguelike a little bit easier. But yeah, okay, I really need a way to exit the game. Yes, I could use a game engine, but I figured it would be kind of fun to make it from scratch, just to like learn Python a little bit more and just like kind of, you know, just learn stuff, right? I'm not really doing it to like try to make as good of a game as possible, and like, well, I mean, I kind of am, right? That's always the goal, but like, I don't know. I want to do this kind of stuff on my own so I can kind of learn the concepts and everything behind it, and see how far I can go with it. Because I don't think there's like there probably is, but yeah. My main goal with this is to learn more myself, and so that way if I need to do anything, like I can, you know, it's like the class where I'm in a class where we're doing graphics programming, right? And we're using OpenGL, but we're using Glut, like a 20-year-old library and stuff, right? And we're using OpenGL raw. Like, we're not using an OpenGL loader. We're not even using GLEW. We're just loading up Glut. Well, I guess Glut's a loader, but it's an old one. But we're just like fucking straight up doing everything in OpenGL from scratch. We have soil and all that stuff. And so, you know, the point is to learn. Yeah, we're doing the raw 3D stuff. So right here, oh no, my name. We're doing
a thing where it draws a Bezier curve, right? And so we're going in, we're calculating the coefficient, and for each step of the curve, like for all the points and everything, and then we draw out the curve, and then it fucking does whatever, and it moves a little ball along the curve, right? And so we're just straight up drawing out points to make a line for the curve, right? And we're just like doing all this stuff, like, you know, all this stuff becomes a lot easier later on when you get into like engines and things, but we're doing it ourselves to learn like how it works and everything. So that's kind of the same idea here, right, with this project, where I could just download like a UI library, I could just download a game engine, I could just do whatever. Fair enough. So yeah, I'm doing it from scratch so I can learn how it works myself and understand it better, and all that fun stuff. That's the gist of it. Anyways, okay, so for layer in, okay, so for L in, so for every layer index, let's just use I. So for each index, let's actually give it a name. How about? So for each index in reversed, in this from top to bottom, now instead of if when visible, it's if layers at index, if this layer is visible, this is what handles input. Because we can have multiple windows on the same layer, so it doesn't make any sense to not, you know, do it like that. And then handle input for the layer. Needs the mouse pause and what mouse button is being pressed. So now here what we can do is for when in self.content, when.handle input, mouse pause, mouse button. There we go. So now we'd be able to, if you have multiple windows adjacent to each other on the same layer, you can still handle the input for those windows, no problem. Okay. Very nice. So now window needs to, or the render needs to basically do the same thing. We're gonna tell it, instead of handling input, we're going to render, and it's going to just be mouse pause. Oh, you know what? Okay, so the reason this gets passed through is because when you have a piece of like text that you can hover over to get a little information box, it checks to see, this should really be called in handle input. It calls it here in the render function. It checks to see if your mouse is hovering over it to draw the little information box, otherwise it just draws the text. What I wonder is if this stuff should be handled inside of the input, because, you know, it's input related instead of rendering related. I don't know. What do you think is a better idea? Like, what makes more sense? Should we handle, okay, if is the mouse over the text, should we do that when it goes to draw it? Or should we do that in the input step? I guess we should do it here, right? Because that would just make more sense. Because then we wouldn't have to worry about, like, having an extra thing here. Oh, we do need the console though, because they need to know what TCOD console to print to. Although I think what I'm using in TCOD is a little bit deprecated at this point, because I think I've been getting I don't know. Actually, no, it didn't. I don't know. I'm not sure if it says. I thought I was getting something in the console about it, but maybe not actually. Okay, but yeah, they do actually need. They need a console. So handle input. So this needs to be. There we go. And then this needs to take a console and then pass it through. Yeah, right, because it'll catch it. Now, what's gonna happen? Oh yeah, because we got a break here. Yeah, so what's gonna happen is for the first visible layer, that's the one that handles input, and then it just breaks out of the for loop. So we don't need to continue checking all the other layers underneath it. If the layer at the very top is visible, that's the one that you do input on. If it's not visible, go to the next one, do input there, and just stop when you reach the first one you can do input on. Yeah, so that'll work just fine. Okay, yeah, we don't really need, this one's like self-explanatory, so we don't need stuff for that. Really for these either, because these are just pass-through functions. Like, you just look at it and it's like, oh, that's all it does, so yeah, we don't really need any comments here, I don't think. Okay, so now we need our definition of a window. Oh, not def, class. Okay, so now we have a window. Okay. Okay, so yeah, I did kind of already set it up. But the border needs colors and stuff. Well, it's got its colors. Okay, so I think all of this... Now, windows don't need... Do they need visible? I guess if we want multiple windows that could be open or closed or whatever, I suppose they could have a visible tag as well as the layer being visible. Because maybe you have, you know... Let's think about use case. Yeah, might as well. There's no reason not to, right? Even if we don't use it, it's like, whatever. So this is pretty much what we want for the window. Oh, we need new variables though, right? So it has a position, it has its width and height, but then it needs inner width. I think borders are always just going to be a single character wide. But we need an inner width and height. So let's say the default window, you know, it's 5. So that includes the spaces for the border, and the border is going to take up one row along the top, bottom, left, and right. So we have to, the part where we can render text without like overlapping the border and breaking it is a 3x3 square in a 5x5. So it's always width and height -2, because you're going to lose one on each side, the left and the right, and one on the top and the bottom. So yeah, that'll work out like that. Yeah, oh, you're right. Yeah, it might as well just be its own object. Yeah, that's a good point. Very true, very true. Yeah, because it's getting kind of long up here. Now the choice thing, that's something else I want to rework with Windows. I don't really want choice to be a thing anymore. I want to handle this differently. I'm not 100% sure how I want to handle it differently, but I want to handle that differently. Because what I'm using choice for at the moment is, for example, here, if I have, so what I'm doing with my current implementation is like, I think each of these are a different window or something that gets like, oh, they're throwing errors again. I don't know why that's happening now. I must have changed something in the UI file. I don't know. That's weird because we weren't getting that error before, but now it's giving us a type error here for the function arguments. That's fine. We'll fix it when we get the new UI stuff. So what's happening is like choice is each of these, when you click on them, they set the choice equal to like, oh, 0, 1, or 2. And that tells it which set of information to like display. But I don't really like how that works code-wise. I think I need to change it so it's like maybe using, I don't know. I don't know how exactly I want to set up a system like this, right? I'm not sure. But I want to change how this works in the code for determining like what tab you're in and shit like that. It's also breaking for some reason. I don't know why it broke. But anyways. So I think instead of, let's see, because when we initialize the UI, we can see how it works over here. So we add a clickable to the top of the window, and then yeah, we add in stats, value is 0, skills, value 1, and then we switch between stuff, but yeah. I want it to be different, but we're gonna have to figure that one out. Just to avoid typos. So yeah, Windows content shouldn't be an array, I think. It'll just be a single content object that we're also going to define. Okay, and then the border will be an object, and that'll just be default to like the default constructor for a border, which will be that generic border that all the windows use. I think. Should I define these underneath or above? Like, I don't know what makes more sense. I guess I'll do them underneath. So now a border is going to be... it's going to have an array. It looks like it uses a list to hold what characters get drawn. Like, this is, Yeah, I didn't really make a comment here on what the border thing is, but basically it, you know, each position of the border array has like a different piece of the border, because it's constructed from, projects. No, don't do that. The border is constructed from these like line characters, basically. So each of these gets saved as like, okay, this is the character to draw here, this is the character to draw here, and then you draw it out by drawing each corner, the vertical lines, the horizontal lines, all that stuff. I don't know exactly what the fourth line is for. I'm pretty sure this is the border, like a square, like this is the upper left character, this is the left character, this is the bottom left, bottom right, right, upper. Yeah, because see, these are the same, so these are both straight lines, these are both vertical lines, and then these are the corners. But I don't know what this fourth line is for. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So border 9, 10, 11, and 12, what are those for? Oh, that's if you have, okay, if I have like a line break in the content where it's like, that's how I draw that line in the original main menu, or like UI. Okay. I don't know what these other characters are for, but yeah, I did something like that. The way I draw this is weird. I think it should be like the structure of a window. I think now with this system, we don't need to do stuff like this because we can just attach windows to each other and define their custom borders, and just like, if a window visibly looks like it's like a little segment between two windows, it can be two windows. So yeah, we don't have to do something funky like this anymore with the new system. Okay, so window has a border. The border is gonna have, let's see. So we're gonna copy this, because the border is either gonna be default or it's gonna have a defined border that you set up with your own list here. So I think it's gonna be, we're gonna do, right. So we're just gonna have this. That's all the border is gonna be. What do we call this? Pieces? And we'll just leave a note. Pieces is an array containing the characters that make up the border. There we go. All right, so now that we have that, we'll just need to give it a render function. That's all it really needs. So the hard part about rendering the border is it's got to be rendered. Okay, so the border's position and stuff is just going to be, I think the border itself might get a position. And width and height, and just set those equal to the window. Because either we need to pass the window's values into the render function, which we could do, or we pass them in at creation. Either way, we don't really have to, we're gonna have to do math either way, so it doesn't really matter which way we do it, I think, and we're just gonna have to do this. I should probably swap these out. No, because it needs to draw the top and bottom anyways. Wait, what? Hold on. What is this doing? So, it draws the top and bottom characters here. So, draw top and bottom characters along the window. Then what it does is in here 3 and 5. But it doesn't have to do this every time, right? Like, this is just needlessly looping. This is a bunch of wasted time in here, because it only has to draw this stuff like once. So really, this should be its own thing. And then it draws the corners, yeah. So if X is 0, I don't need it to do that. I did this a really dumb way. All I have to do is this. Oh, I also fill it. Oh, that's why I do it that way. I fill it with empty space, I think. Because that way, if I don't do that, it's just going to show what's underneath the window. So, but I don't have to do that here in the, because this is just the border. It's not the inner part of the window. So if we're only drawing the border, we don't need that. We'll leave that for the content or something to like render the blank spaces behind itself. Okay, so now, I mean, since I copied code that has self XPOS and width and stuff, we could just give that to the border from the window. Can we use the arguments in this constructor? I don't think so. So we're gonna have to put none. And then if border is none, we construct it in here. And then we can use X pause, Y pause, width, and height. And we'll set those defaults to here just in case. There we go. And I guess if content is none, it kind of needs to be an object, right? For rendering and stuff. Thanks for the follow. Welcome. Hope you're enjoying. But yeah, we'll I guess we'll do the same thing for the content. That's true. But it only needs to do it as soon as you make the window, right? Like it never really, unless we want to have the option to let the user change their border later. I guess we could have a function and just have it be its own thing. We never really need to recreate the border at any point in time unless we want to make it so the borders can change or something. Then we would need to reconstruct it, I suppose. But then it's also like, if you want to make border function, I don't know. I don't think we need this, because if we're gonna make a border, it's gonna be passed in as an object anyways. And so we can just like set, you know, I don't think we need this, honestly. So step one of rendering, oops, stop, is rendering the border, and then it's rendering all its content. I mean, I guess so. We can do set border. I mean, well, you could just do that anyways, right? Like with just window.border, and then you could just like, I don't need to do this unless it's like, because that would just be pointless. I don't know. I feel like we don't really have to do anything, right? Like, this is fine. I mean, I guess I see what you mean without having to check if it's like none and just having it set equal to like a border, but I don't know. I don't really see what you mean, I guess. Is item a keyword? I don't know. So if I'm checking if a layer is visible, yeah, I should probably just do it here. I was thinking about maybe doing it inside the layer itself, but I don't know. Maybe it would make more sense inside the layer itself. Now here it doesn't. I think, no, we'll leave it where it is. That's fine. Okay, so if things are visible, that's when you render them. Otherwise, don't bother. There we go. So now we have the border, we have this, can I, like, load this file into the... Can I import this into, like, this? I need to open a Python terminal. Like, I need to get to this folder. How do I... because I want to load up this file and test it out. I don't want to have to make another file. I just wanted to test it in terminal and see if it works. I guess I might just need to use it in my project. Oh, can you? How do you do that? I mean, I would need tcod in here, but I could just import that too. And just make a console or something. Python run interactive. Run file. Okay, I need a command line into here and then yeah, okay. How do you change derive? Can I just CD to here? Okay, I can. What do you mean? Oh, it's just Python. How do I, okay, keep, no, how do you, God damn it. How do I exit this? just like type exit? Oh, okay. There we go. Yeah, thank you. So it's just Python. Okay. Yeah, all right, perfect. So now we have our UI stuff. Cool. Can you import Tcod? Now let's make a console. I wonder if Tcod plays nicely with this interactive mode like this. It may not. Okay, let's do this. Can we just copy and paste this? No. Oh, console set font is deprecated. Okay, that's what the warning was about. The font stuff is deprecated. I need to look into changing that later. And then let's set up these constants really quick. Did that do both of them? Yeah, okay. So all that should be fine. Let's give it a title, make it not full screen. And we should be able to just set our console. Okay, it's broken. What the oh. Uh-oh. I don't think it plays nicely. What is it doing? Why is it broken? Oh yeah, and then the console is deprecated and okay, so context replace all this stuff. I need to look into that later. Uh-oh. Flush. Okay, it's just broken. I don't think it works very well with this. I'm not sure. That's fine, whatever. We'll just test it in the game instead. Okay, how do we do multi-line comments in Python? I don't remember. Multi-line comment is... Oh, it doesn't support multi-line comments out of the box. Oh no. Why would you do this to me, Python? How could you be so cruel? Alright, well... Test.py. Okay, I don't actually care about wrap content anymore because we figured out that's bungus. I guess we could, yeah, we could turn it all into a string and then comment that out. Triple quotation marks. Or we just do that, right? Like, will that get ignored when it compiles? Let's find out. Okay, cool. I don't think it had an error, so I think, yeah, we can just do that. We can just use strings to comment it out. Dude, that's so janky. Oh, Python, you're so silly. Alright, so... Make a new loop. We want to flush at the end of the loop. And then... Let's see. Let's import... Let's do that. I think we need to give it the console. Yeah. Oh, interesting. Okay. That makes sense. That just, it seems so weird, but yeah. Alright, fair enough. Okay, so it doesn't crash. It runs render with nothing in there just fine. So far so good. We're getting there. Let's go ahead and break this off because we want to just get rid of it. This is just going to be testing code anyways. So new UI dot. It doesn't have a function. Wait, why doesn't it show me add window in here? Oh, there it is. Okay, maybe I just missed it. I'm stupid. Add window. So let's make a window. We'll use the default window, I think. That's fine. We'll just make sure the defaults work, because if the defaults work, everything else should work okay. Oh, layer index. Right. Totally forgot. I don't see anything. So let's see, new UI, add window. So the window render, visible is 1, so it is set to true. Oh, did visible on the layer? Aha. It's set to false, my bad. Let's set that to true. Let's just do true instead of 1, so that's also a bit more clear that it's a Boolean. There we go. Ah, all right. Oh yeah, the self width and height and stuff of the border. Right, I totally forgot to set those. Whoops. Silly me. Oh. Right, it's called pieces now. My bad. None type is not iterable. Okay, so we can't just do this and have it like, oh, if there's nothing there, nothing happens. We have to handle, let's see. So it kind of like the border, it can't just sit there in none, we have to give it something. So for now, since we don't have content to draw at the moment, we'll just give it an empty list because that's iterable and it won't do anything. Look at that, we did it. There's our window. All right, the new UI is working. It's getting there. So we'll leave this as an empty list for the moment. Yeah, we're getting there. Now what we can do is... Orber. We might as well do content at this point, right? So content... What is content gonna be? Content is just gonna be everything that's inside the window. I don't know if like a scroll bar should be considered content. Because like if the window is scrollable, it's gonna need to do something a bit different. I guess we'll just have a scroll bar be a separate thing. So what we'll do for now is... the content is gonna have... Content's just gonna be a list, honestly. I don't know if it needs to be an object. Actually, the content is just gonna be like that. So we don't actually need an object here. We're going to directly append, like, text, buttons, whatever that goes in the window is just gonna go straight into this. So this can't actually just be that. There we go. It's all gonna be appended on this, and then it's just gonna be filled, like, with items that can be visible, and then the items are, yeah, the other thing. So now we have a window that can have a border, that can be in a layer, that can be in the UI. So now we need to start adding stuff like the other pieces of the UI that are over here. See, like, content was an object here, but... yeah, it's gonna be different. I think everything's gonna be responsible for their own, like, backgrounds and foregrounds and stuff. So let's start with text. So this is just going to be plain text with whatever background or foreground color we want to draw with it. That's going to be drawn into the window. So text is going to have an X pause, a Y pause. It's going to have value. It's going to have foreground and background. Actually, well, nah, these are going to be... Because I want each character to... You know what? We're gonna get even crazier with the Cheese Whiz. Oh, this is 0. All right, so we're gonna have text be comprised of characters that each character is going to have its own foreground and background, so that way, if we want to have, like, crazy text effects or whatever, we have the option. And we don't have to worry about, like, redefining things for that. Now, I think the X and Y pause of the text is going to be relative. Maybe? I don't know how we'd set that up, though. Okay, yes. So yeah, if FG colors is empty, because it's like so what I want to do is I want to go for C in string, I don't know if I should use that. No, we're gonna make this empty, I think. I mean, you want to give it text to start. I guess we'll include the colors here. So you can leave them blank if you want, and it just defaults to white text on black background. Yeah, I do want to not re-render stuff if it's static. So give a window a buffer of characters that each content renders into. How would that work? Okay, hold on. Let me set this up real quick. Is char a type in Python? I don't think so, right? Now the hard part here is, so we need to loop through all the characters in string, and then if there's a color for it, it's gonna be out of range. So it's gonna throw an exception. It's not gonna just like, oh, there's nothing there. I guess we could do a try except, but that feels like a silly way to do it. Because what we want is we want to get the character at that position in the string. Yeah, I did mean that, but thank you. How do I... Oh, okay. So yeah, that'll work just fine. But for each character, we want to pass in, like, the color... Like, so, with your text, if you want custom colors, you have to, like, kind of define it. Otherwise, it's just default. I guess... I don't know. I don't know what to do, what exactly would be a good solution here. Control code style color change. Oh shit! That's actually not a bad idea. If we parse the text a little bit and have like control. You know what? That's actually an interesting idea. Well, yeah, but okay, so let's just say, let's go with the first idea where it's just like, okay, you tell it, you give it a list of all the colors for each character, right? Like you have your color. What's a good way to check? Because if it's empty, I just want to propagate these, but if it's not empty, I want to use the color that's there. I can't just attempt to access it at that position because then it's going to give me an index error. I mean, I guess I could just let it have an exception and just have the case be the exception handling instead of an if statement, but I don't know if that's a good idea. Like, I don't think that's good practice, right? Like, just, yeah, you know, just work the errors into the code. You just make that's how it's supposed to work. Like, that doesn't seem like a good idea. I don't know. Okay. Now, how do I get the index? You can get an index in a for loop, right? I feel like I did that somewhere else in the code that I could just like see and be like, oh yeah, that's how you do it. Okay. Yeah. I know I did that somewhere else. I just can't remember what file it's in. All right. Do strings have an enumerate? Maybe. I mean, strings are just lists, right? Gotcha. Okay, so if foreground colors is empty... Because I got like 4 different cases here, or 3 different ones at least. If both are empty, if one's empty, if the other's empty, or if neither are empty. So I kind of need to handle all those spots because any combination of those can throw an error, depending on what I try to do with it. So if both of these are empty, I guess we're just gonna have to bite the bullet and make a whole bunch of stuff. So if they're both empty, just don't pass. If foreground is empty, how do I only pass the second or the third argument? Can I just put none here? Wait, where is... Oh, yeah, I gotta do this again. Right. Alright, there's probably a better way we could do this, but we'll figure it out later. So you either have to define all of your character's colors or none of them. There's no in between here. Okay. I mean, that's fine. Because I don't really think I want to use a thing that has, like... Well, that's not true. Because what if I want to, like... What if I want, like, it to default... I got it. I know what to do that's way easier than this. Actually, maybe the try accept thing could actually really come in handy here. Because what we can do is, I mean, I could just fill them with blank spaces, which I think would probably be easier. Or fill them with default. We can list comprehend. we just... No, I think we need to... Because I don't really need... I just want to iterate this many times. There's probably a different way I can do this. Let's see. Python list. A slightly different way where I don't need to make this variable that I just don't need to use at all. Oh, you can multiply a list. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. So we just say this multiplied by len of string or something. Yeah, and it'll do this that many times. Yeah, that's exactly what I want. Wait, if the... Can you not do like an if-then statement? So it's just one line. What was the syntax? That's a thing, right? Does Python not have one line if statements? Oh, well, you just still do the colon, you just put it on the line with it. Okay. There we go. Problem solved. Oh, I see. Okay, so now we just do that, and then we can just iterate over it, easy peasy. And then... There we go. So now every character can have its own color. Now what I was thinking would be another thing, right? Because let's say you want to define... I don't know. Whatever. I guess, yeah, each word, like, let's say you want one word to be, like, this color. Yeah, we can just, never mind. This'll be a nice, easy way to do it. And that takes care of that. It makes a bunch of characters that each have their own symbol, foreground and background. And, yeah, there you go. Cool. I mean, these don't need a default because they're always going to get past something. Either the default's up there, so it's like, whatever. Non-default follows default. Oh. I didn't know that was actually a thing. Huh. But yeah, because they're always going to get the empty setup here. We don't have to redo that. It already takes care of the default. And then we'll put string at the end. I mean, it doesn't match the other things, but who cares? Okay. So now... So now we can set an arbitrary string that is made up of characters who each have a symbol, a color, and a background color, and we can have a list of those, and that list determines, you know, the words that get drawn, and we can just like append the text. Now the text is going to need a position. But this is going to break wrapping, I think. Well, no, because we can convert a string into text, our custom text class here. So we can do the other wrapping that we have, text wrap, and then we can process the strings that text wrap gives and just turn them into text class stuff. Yeah, so that'll be fine. And so now we can draw text wherever we want on the window. Hey there, Pawn. I'm doing all right. Just chilling, working on this little project. So each character is going to have to render... I don't know, this shouldn't be really that much slower than what's already happening. I can't imagine. It should be fine. Something of a modder myself. Well, I'm programming a little game from scratch instead of modding something. Is it .print? I think it is. Yeah, con.print, and then we give it the X and Y position, the character, and then the foreground background. Oh. I see. Or I see. We're gonna have to give it a position. And I don't think I want each character to save its position. That would be kind of silly. Oh, well, the character itself doesn't have to render. We can just stop rendering here. The character is just like a little container that holds this info. But each character has this info, so all we have to do is do the con.print here. And then that way we have the position info and stuff that we need. Self.xpos plus I, self.ypos. Yeah. Hi, Luca. Past 3 days modding 2 mods for Borderlands. Oh, nice. What kind of stuff are you adding to that game? There we go. So XY character foreground background. XY character foreground background. There we go. And that I should go from 0 to whatever, so that should give us the correct position. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. So how would we set up a buffer then? Let me see if TCOD has a buffer that we can use. Because it might have a buffer built in. And we could just render to that buffer and then have the window just flip the buffer. In fact, I think by default, all of this is rendered into a buffer, which is not quite what you're talking about, but it's going to be more difficult than this, but it's pretty easy. Nice. It's always nice when stuff ends up being really simple and you're like, oh, cool, I can just do this. I see. But like in that case, I mean, I guess, but would we just return, what? I suppose that's fair. I think I see what you mean. So we would just build a list. We would build several lists, which we could probably do with comprehension. Oh, okay. Right, because you can edit the stuff in the right, because Python is not like C++. You can just edit the stuff here and it reflects that change outside of the function. Because it's passed by reference and not by copy or whatever it's called. Yeah, okay. So we don't need the console here, we just need the buffer inside the text. And we don't need to return anything. So what would the buffer would be? Would the buffer need to be its own object, or would we just like make two? Can we make triplets? Can we like buffer? Can we make the buffer an array of triplets? Would that be weird? Would that work? Like, could we just append and then make like a tuple that's three items, and then do like the character, the you know, whatever. Is that a thing? I mean, I'm using triplets here, so I'd imagine it's a thing. Because what I'm thinking is the buffer would just be all of the individual characters, right? Because we can't really build, like, we could kind of build it back into a thing, but con.print takes, it either takes it takes a string, and the foreground and background apply to whatever string you give con.print. So if we want individual characters to have their own foreground and background, we have to draw them individually. So what I figure is if we have a triplet of the character and its associated foreground and background, we just, for every item in buffer, con.print that, and... But then that doesn't carry the... Well, I guess... Your moist sub-ins tomorrow. Oh no, you can't be moist anymore. So when we render here, we create a temporary buffer object, because we don't really need it to stick around. It can just die once it does its thing. And each item that renders that is not a window and not a border. I'm okay with the border for now. I mean, we could turn the border into a buffer thing as well, which maybe is not a bad idea actually. So let's say the border pushes stuff into the buffer. You read Cammy as Cummy. What is wrong with you? Abstract con.print to create a renderer that renders consecutive characters in one call. I guess that makes sense, yeah. So here, instead of these, yeah, we'll see how well it works, and if performance becomes an issue, then we'll optimize. So the buffer will just be the entire, like, width and height of the window, basically. Doesn't need to be shared. Yeah, waste of points. Very nice. So we'll just do this. Oops. Okay, and then we just got to change the numbers. 0 to 6 8. Oh, but no, cause see, this isn't gonna work, cause that's not gonna get the right like position. That's totally not gonna work. Yeah, that's not a thing. Okay, until we figure this out maybe a little bit better, because there might be a way to get it to work. Yeah, for now this can't just be that, because the buffer doesn't. I mean, we could add the X and Y pause into the tuple and make it even bigger, but I don't know. Not sure how well that's gonna work. So for now, we'll go back to just drawing the buffer on its own. Yeah, the buffer should be a 2D. Okay. Okay, so if buffer's a 2D array... Wait, can you... No, you just... Let's go off the assumption that it's an array, and the position in buffer is where on the screen it gets drawn. So we can't just do buffer.append. We can still use the tuple, because each character needs 3 pieces of information. But it would be like buffer at self.xpause plus x, self.ypause plus y. Oh, is he speedrunning the GameCube Hobbit game? Because I remember watching, like, it's an older video, but somebody made, like, a whole speedrun documentary video about the GameCube Hobbit game, a while back. And I remember watching that. I wonder if that's what inspired him to do that. Simple Flips actually used to speedrun Hobbit, the GameCube Hobbit game. I did not know that. I never knew he did that, but he did that like a long time ago. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Hope he gets a good time. Why are these squiggly? What did I do wrong here? I messed something up. Oh. Extra brackets. Yeah. Learn to do better GUI in Python. Having a beautiful visual thing is cool. Yeah. tkinter and stuff. There's really good GUI things for Python. So you don't have to do any of this yourself. I've used tkinter a little bit. Tkinter's pretty good. It uses like the default like Windows UI stuff, and everything. But there might be newer ones you could look into, because I think tkinter is kind of old. Is it verified that it's fake? I don't know if anybody really got hard evidence that it was like a fake Nintendo copyright strike. But either way, it sucks. Like, it doesn't matter if it's fake or not, because YouTube's not gonna, like... It doesn't matter, right? Whoever copyright claims a video, even if they're impersonating someone, it doesn't matter to YouTube. As long as there is a copyright claim, it must be rescinded by the person who put the claim in. YouTube will literally do nothing unless that happens. So... It doesn't matter if they're fake or not. It doesn't change anything, unfortunately. I guess it tells you how you should feel about Nintendo, I suppose, but I mean, you really shouldn't like Nintendo either way. And they've done similar stuff in the past, so it's not like out of character for them, and that's why they could probably get away with it if it is like if the imposter is sus. Because like nobody, you know, Nintendo has done this kind of stuff anyway, which is why everybody thought it was just like Nintendo themselves. All right, what kind of music do you guys want to listen to? Do you want to listen to something that's not just like chill, relaxing music? Do you want to listen to whatever? Like, let me know if you have a type of music you think we should put up, and I'll look into it and consider it. Speedcore. I mean, we could. The only problem with speedcore is that it can get very distracting. What about, okay. DDR music, because like DDR music can be kind of like techno-y. Some of it can be speedcore. DDR Extreme had some good music. Eurobeat, baby metal. All right, whatever, dude. Hardcore black metal. "240 songs from DDR 8th mix." Nice. That's pretty cool. There's a lot of different types of music in DDR, so this works. Just let me know if it's kind of loud. I think it might be, isn't it? Gregorian chants. Dude, nice. Not lo-fi metal beats to stress cram to. Coconut Mall on repeat will speed up your coding. Oh, okay. All right, so that means the buffer here, we are not appending. We are... Okay, so like that. However, it's X and Y pause to make these, I guess we just have to make sure they get set correctly if they're going to be relative, because they need to be absolute in the buffer. Unless the buffer is... Yeah, because that's going to be weird. We got to make sure that when we set positions of stuff... Set my category to Mario Kart. Oh, there you go, yeah. Now my game will become a visual novel. It's okay, there's some other, like, types of music in here. We'll get there. Okay, so everything gets shoved into the buffer. And then... we're gonna have to do an exception because there's gonna be spots of the buffer that aren't filled with content. There's going to be empty spaces that are just nothing and not even... Although, I think they're going to get created. I don't know what they're equal to by default, so that's going to be a problem. Because the buffer is going to get created, right, all the way out to the corners of the window when we do the border. So the center of the buffer, fill it with spaces. Okay, yeah. That's what I was thinking, is that's probably the best idea. Because otherwise, yeah, we'd have problems. And I reference it XY when I set it, so... We actually need to set it to valid drawable characters. We can't just set it to nothing. We have to set it to nothing that is renderable. There we go. Actually, this should be just 0. Because otherwise it's going to be like white squares, I think. So, there we go. Yeah, yeah. So how do we know if it changes? If we're always setting it, right? If this... Your mattress is like 1 inch taller than a normal king size. Your cover doesn't fit correctly. That's annoying. So if we do this, isn't this going to like always be changing, like no matter what, even if the same stuff gets set? Or does it not actually update? Like if we set the same thing twice, does that just do nothing in Python and it like doesn't have a dirty value and set it to true when you add content? Oh, I see. Yeah, that's a good idea. No, not awesome. I see. So how do we... Okay, so what I guess then is every time it calls the render functions and writes to the buffer, so the buffer should be persistent then, right? Like this should be just like a thing. Because otherwise we just lose what we're trying to... If we want to make it like not have to constantly buffer. Yeah. Okay. So the buffer should be a persistent object or a persistent member of the class. And then whenever you add content, so... Whenever you add an item to the window, it becomes dirty. You get your fucking stink all over it. And then... So now... if it's dirty, that's when we call these functions to update the buffer. Now, what we could even do, because, okay, I don't know exactly, I forget exactly how this works, but what I was also thinking is maybe we don't even need to flush the console and everything if it just doesn't, if like nothing changes, right? Like we don't need to constantly be refreshing every 60 FPS because our game doesn't run like, unless we want animations, then we do. If we want animated tiles, you know what? We'll leave it like this because we might want animated tiles in the future. Vampire Survivors, we played some of that a couple weeks ago. I might play, or last week or so, I don't know. I might play some more again. Only clear if it's dirty too. Right. RimWorld. Oh yeah, all right. Play some RimWorld on Wednesday. Yeah, no, it's just once, like a frame. Should be fine. Because I think all that flushing does is, let's see, where is... How does this work? I have the TCOD stuff open on the side. Where the heck is flushing? It's not... I can't control F and then... Okay, there we go. Oh, it's an old function that isn't really a thing anymore. Yeah, so flush basically just updates it. So, like, it doesn't update what's on the screen until you call a flush. So if you, like, call the print functions and stuff, it, like, doesn't... So it's now deprecated. But that's just because it's not supported by context, but we're using a console, which needs to be flushed. I'll have to think about switching over to the context and stuff later, but it's like a whole different system, I think. You will play RimWorld again. If Twitch let you edit messages. Dude, then you could play the epic prank and send a slur and then edit it so it's not a slur. I don't know. You really don't need to edit messages, but I mean, I guess for typos and things, I don't know what else you'd use to fuck with people. Be like, I didn't say that. All right, so if it's dirty, it's got to update the buffer, and then it needs to draw all of the buffer to the console. So I think, can we just do a nested, like, kind of like this, but like for, you know, whatever, I in self.buffer, and that'll give us a bunch of arrays or a bunch of lists, and then for j in I, and then that gets us this at every position in the buffer. So j should be equal to that triplet. So then we do console.print. We need the position to give this. That should work. So we print at X and Y. Yeah, because the X pause and Y pause of the window are absolute in the layer. The layer is the size of the screen, and this is just where on the window. Yeah, so that'll be good. Right, I do need to remember that actually, because I think I do it backwards somewhere else. I don't know, but we gotta keep. I'm always used to X and Y. That may actually end up mattering. Because, but I think if it's consistent all the way through, it'll still come out like normal, I think. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see when we test it, if it actually works. X, Y, and then J at 0, J at 1, J at 2. So now, yeah, since we're doing them individually, it doesn't really matter. I don't see anything. So new UI render. We have a window, so we should at least see the window's border. Okay, so the border's position, I don't think we set correctly. Oh, set it to dirty. That's right. Right, it's got to be set to dirty. Oh yeah, and then this needs to set it to false when it's done updating the buffer. Okay, so border has no attribute self. What the fuck are you talking about? God damn it! What do you mean? Oh no. What is... what? Attribute error. What are you talking about? Oh, self dot... okay, right. I see what I did wrong. I don't know how I got two selves in here. Okay. The self of myself. I am my own sovereign citizen. Index out of range. Ooh, very nice. Right, we need to initialize a range. So, before we... I thought that's what this was doing. Such wonderful errors. Self.width is 5. Range... hold on. What? Excuse me? Well, no, because see, are you sure? Because, like, it needs to know where... I think what's happening is maybe it's just, like, including the 5. No, it's not. So, why is it out of range? Oh, are they? Oh, that's... yeah, you're right. They are. Yeah, okay. So that's cool. That takes care of having to worry about that. I mean, heck, well, no, we still want the width and height, because if we don't pass that in, then we don't have it. So we'll leave that there. Yeah. Sometimes this is hard to, like, conceptualize. Changing all this stuff around. I do draw some characters twice because of the range. I think we just want to go 1. Because we don't... no... nah. We want to skip the corners, right? Because we're already going to set them here. We don't need to do them again. I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but... we don't really need to set the corners. I think the corners are included when we're setting the stuff up. 1 width -1. Yeah, that's probably right. I guess we'll find out in short order if it's not correct. Did I save? I did. Int is not subscriptable. What int object am I subscripting? What? Int object is not subscriptable. Do I have like a period somewhere that's like fucking things up? I mean, it looks okay. Can I put spaces? That's not gonna... So, comma, comma. Self dot width. Those look fine. Oh, you know what? Width is, needs to be, I think, -1 here. Because the array is not going to go... I mean, I don't think that's going to fix the int not iterable problem. But... let's just line these up together so they're a bit easier to look at. Yeah, I don't know what exactly what we're trying to iterate that is not iterable. Got our brackets okay around all these things. So pieces, I mean, that looks fine. Maybe that comma at the end, but yeah, 0 to 8. We gotta, those are all fine. The indexes are good. Range. Huh. All right. Let's what? Oh, I think I ran the wrong file. Oops. I think. What is it? What's happening here? Hold on. Just stop. I think it's doing something funky because of where I put the breakpoint. Let's put a breakpoint here. Okay, so self is a window, right? So let's step into. Okay, so now we're doing this. Here's our buffer. Step into. What? Did it just skip all of this? What just happened? Why did it not do this? It just, I stepped into, but it went past this, straight into this. That's not good. I don't think that's supposed to happen. So it is detecting the dirty, and it did go down into the render function, but for some reason it skipped over this for loop. Oh, right. Width, not xpos. I'm stupid. Yeah. There we go. Silly me. Okay, we're still index out of range here. But I thought you could just like... Okay, so do I have to... What? Oh, really? So I need to, like, when I set buffer to an empty list here, I also need to go set all of its elements to an empty... That's really annoying. I just want to, like, initialize it with a max size of both. See, this is where double arrays or 2D arrays are kind of easier in C++ because you can just tell it, I think, like, the size, but maybe you still have to loop in that one too. I mean, you have to loop to initialize it, but... Like, I just want to tell it how big it is, and or just let it be this size. I don't know. I wish it could just let me do it. So what do I... Oh, I see what you mean. Like that? Yeah, okay. Gotcha. No. Why is this out of range? I guess because we're trying to address indexes that don't exist, so we have to create them first. Int is not subscriptable. Okay, what the fuck does that mean? What is wrong here? Buffer at 0, 0 equals... I don't get it. Oh, wait, no. Right. This should just be empty. Right, empty. Oh, okay, that's what I'm doing wrong. Right. I see what's going on here. Okay. No, I don't see what's going on. Never mind. I lied. We can see the buffer. It did its thing. See? Here's our 5x5 buffer. Is it the way I'm addressing the 2D array? It can't be it. I mean, these ones work okay. I don't know why it errors here and not here, right? Like, these work fine. So what's wrong with this line compared to these lines? Unless it's skipping these, but I don't think it is. Yeah, that's right. We do need to fill it. Aha! There's an empty item? What the hell? Oh wait, no. That's... okay, duh. That's the object at each position, right? It's just, like, funky. So it is making the thing, okay. Oh, thanks for the follow, Lixie. Welcome. Eurobeat going again. This is DDR music. This is just a music mix of, like, 6 hours of random DDR music from... It says all 240 songs from DDR 8th Mix. I didn't know 8th Mix had 240 songs in it, but I guess it does. So, we're just listening to music from DDR. Yeah, there are people that stream programming, that's true. I'm surprised you found my stream, considering I'm pretty small compared to probably a lot of the other ones. But, welcome. So yeah, what we're seeing here is it's creating it okay. What is the int object that is not subscriptable? Let me just Google this error. Python int object not subscriptable. And let me see what some other common ways people run into this error is. You try to use the integer type value as an array. What? Did I screw something up when I called this? Self.buffer. Self.buffer. Is there something... But why is it erroring here and not here? You search up programming Twitch? Nice, nice. Well, welcome. I'm glad to see you. Hope you're having a good night. Yeah, we're listening to some DDR music, dancing Mario style, and just hanging out. Right now I'm trying to rewrite some of my code here. I have some other UI code, but it was kind of bad, so I'm like reworking it in a better way. Made a website today? Hell yeah. Websites are a very valuable skill to have. So learning how to do that is super, super good to know. Yeah, yeah, nice. It's cool that GitHub lets you like host your own little website thing on it. It's really helpful for testing and doing all sorts of stuff. So yeah, buffer is a list of lists. That is a thing. So buffer itself should be subscriptable like this. Just set a menus. Yeah, hey, you gotta start somewhere. Did it not do those? I don't know. Yeah, that's what I'm curious about, why it's not failing on these and why it's failing here. So let's set a breakpoint again. Set a breakpoint here. And so right before it renders, okay, now step in. Okay, so now for X in range, step in. Aha! It's skipping. Why is it skipping? 1 to self width. Why is self width 0? What? Width. Okay. Get rid of the self. Something's obviously not working here. Dude, this song is so annoying. If you've ever played DDR, this fucking bag song or whatever the hell it's called, it runs... dude, the song, the fucking notes are at like 60 BPM. So they're all completely crunched together and you can't see anything. And it's just like... I don't know what they were thinking. X and Y from the constructor? No, well, that doesn't matter, right? Like, self.width is in the constructor, and that's what I'm worried about. Yeah, slow BPM is the worst. You have to, like, speed it up a lot so it's actually readable. Something went wrong here with the border. Because, like, with self.width, it wasn't passing in the... Oh! Oh! Never mind, I'm stupid. I know what you mean. That's what happened. Yep, okay. We should be good now. No, the accuracy doesn't change. The accuracy is part of the engine. That's always the same. Note timing is never changes. Yeah, I don't know about Tycho, but in DDR, note timing is strict. It's a perfect is within, you know, 50 milliseconds or something of the note being in the center of the receptacle. So all the BPM changes is how fast it approach, like all scroll speed changes, I should say, is how fast they approach the reticle, and BPM changes how much distance is between notes on the chart. So a combination of BPM, like the distance between notes, and how fast they approach the receptacle, it lines up to keep it in track with the song. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Taiko has a forgiveness thing, but in DDR it's always the same. It never changes. Your timing is always your timing. There is no variance in that at all, which is nice. I like that. I like rhythm games that have a strict, you know, rule set like that, where it's like you don't have to guess on like, oh, is it? But yeah, so now we should be good. I forgot to remove my breakpoint. Okay, now we're getting assignment index out of range, so it is doing it. It's just out of range. But I believe we need -1 and -1. I forgot to do that. Now we go back here and we stop the code and we rerun the code and we get our window and it renders. Oh, it works. Okay, we did it. All right, so now what? All right. So now we need to copy over. We need hoverable and click. Oh my god, this fucking song sounds ridiculous. DDR has some weird music in it. Dude, we gotta work. We got our window drawing properly on the screen. We can see it. So now what we need is to copy over some of the stuff that we've got going on over here. Layers. Oh, right. Well, no, it's an object, right? How does this work? Layers. Why can't I just call this myself? Why is it giving me a problem? UI.layers at index.window. Oh wait, no, it's layers.content. Oh, dude, this fucking song. Oh my god, I haven't heard this song in so long. Holy shit. God, this music is so nostalgic, because I remember hearing a lot of these songs way back in like high school and stuff when I first started getting into DDR. Window. Wait, no, content is an array as well. Window .xpos. Let's actually leg master, dude. Yeah, I've always been into leg. Dude, honestly, like leg exercises have always been like my favorite. Like, I don't know why people don't like exercising their legs. Like, it's fun. And your legs are so much stronger and get a lot stronger than your arms do, like so much faster. I remember back when I was in high school and stuff and like actively working out, I think my squat PB was like double what I could bench. It was insane. Like your legs are, I don't know, they're just fun to work out. And they don't really get as tired or sore as fast either. I want to kind of just handle some very simple, like just push a button and move the window so we can and just do a thing. All right, so now when we press a key, doesn't matter what key it is, it's just gonna scoot the window Let's do X and Y. There you go. Is it not? Oh, wait. Oh, right. Yeah. Duh. I'm stupid. Thank you. Nothing's happening. Probably because... I don't know. Let's just, like, print something in the Python console to see if this is even working, because this may not be working properly here. Okay, no, that works. So the window doesn't move. So we are clearing the... Oh! Because it's not drawing it... It's not... It's drawing it in an absolute X and Y, which is... Yeah, we need to do self.xpos plus X and self.ypos plus Y. You speed walk everywhere. I mean, kinda. Technically, like, walking fast is a form of exercise. You are pushing your muscles a little bit more than just walking. And walking is also exercise, because you're using your muscles more than just sitting still. So, yes, it does count as exercise. There it goes! Yeah! Okay, it's gone. Alright, cool. So now it will draw at the correct position on the screen. And all we got to do now is add in a little bit of extra support. So, it is an Olympic sport. Hey, there you go. So unfortunately, I have a lot of hard-coded UI stuff that I have to change over. Well, not really, because it just... Oh, no, I'm gonna have to change how it works, because the way it calls this stuff is, like, different than what we have. So it's gonna be a bit annoying here, but... Yeah, this is the annoying part of refactoring Python code and stuff, is, like... Well, refactoring any code is when you change how your classes work, and you have to go back in and, like, re-change all the hard-coded stuff, because you have to hard-code it at some point. So... we have now hit the point where it's like, all right, well, now we gotta change all the venue stuff. Although we're still missing some functionality that'll, like, actually let it work like our UI currently works. So we need content that can go inside of windows, right? We need the hoverables and we need the clickables. But you know what? That can wait. Honestly, maybe. So... So let's see here. Windows with static content. I don't know. What is that email? Sir Sword. I don't know what that emote is. I don't think I've ever seen it before. I mean, honestly, probably what I'm gonna do is just take like the UI stuff that isn't really gonna change and just stuff it in another file and just import the file and load it. You know? Because like, we can't get away from defining it somewhere, so I figure if I just put the UI code in a file, and just have like a little like, see right here, initialize game, we can always just call a function called like initialize UI, which I think I even have right here, update UI. Well, this one updates the UI with new values because these are static, I think. But, you know, we can have a function like that inside another file, so it's tucked away out of, you know, somewhere on its own. Yeah, exactly. So we'll just do it like that, I think. And we'll also put probably update UI in there as well, because this is a static thing. This is, you know, it's just updating it with the current values. Okay, so new file. Go ahead and make that. Let's call it a data UI.py. All right. Yeah, and it'll just be like a Python file, but you know, all the data stuff that's hard-coded, like our melee skills and stuff, are in here too. And our races are in here with like different definitions for different stuff, stats and everything. So we'll just have all these data files where things get hard-coded in. And if we leave it that way, then people who play the game are like, oh, I want to mod it, just change the data. There you go. Problem solved. Very easy. I don't care about the marketplace. Go away. I wonder if there's like an Excel viewer. I wonder if there's like a way you can get it to display Excel files inside of the VS Code. That'd be cool. Stat screen. So what we need to do here is we need to import, we need to import the new UI, and then we're just gonna make the window object here and return that object. Oh, okay. Yeah, that might be a good idea. I will look into that later, I think. I think for now I'll just do it like this, and then we'll think about that later on. Yeah. Definitely seems like a good idea, especially if I want to set up other stuff and everything and just turn it all into that. And just be like, here you guys go, you can edit it if you want. So we set up a window. All right, have a good one. Thanks for stopping by. See you later. Okay, so it's xpos. Let's see. So we need to copy this from. So 60-0-1915. And then, so 1619, oh, inner width and inner height. No, we don't have to set those here. Those should be width -2, height -2. Okay. All right. So now that we have that, so we create a window, X and Y, width and height, content, border, all that stuff can just be default. So there's the stat screen window and the combat log is 60, but then 16, and then 19, and then 15. I'm gonna leave it named data_UI, so it's nice and distinct. Doesn't get it mixed up with anything. Oh, this fucking song. Oh my god. I wonder, was DDR what made the song, like, a thing? Because I remember the song, like, people vaguely knowing the song, and I think it even got played on the radio or something a couple times, but... Like, I don't know if it was because of DDR that this song became, like, a thing, or if it was used in, like, a movie or something. I don't remember, but I remember the song being, like... I think the song was, like, a thing for a while. Like, people knew about it. There we go. So that is good. Oh god, there it goes. Oh no. Okay, let's stop doing that. So now let's go ahead and let's see. How do we access this window? So this window is at layer 0, content 0. So it's not terribly different. But now what we need to do is add window. We need to add content, and we need to add text that is built from this text. So okay, let's copy this. Where is it? So window add content. Okay, so we call add content, and then we need to pass in an item, which is going to be new UI. Yeah, new UI dot text. And so X and Y pause are going to be 0, 0. I'm surprised this isn't getting caught as like a thing, but... Oh wait, no, I did the... Oops. Yeah, because add content is whatever. This is 0, 0. And then default colors. So now let's call update new UI. Where's regular update UI? Okay, let's see if this works. List has no attribute content. What is it called again? So the layer at 0, it has content. UI layer at 0. What? Oh, you know what? I think it's getting confused because main UI is like outside of the... Oh, yeah, I passed in the wrong UI. New UI. And this should just be... This shouldn't be the same name as that variable because that's also confusing. Where'd it go? UI. Which is what I import something as, so... New UI. Alright, dude. There we go. What is... Oh, right. There's no underscore. Oh, this fucking song. Holy shit. There we go. That's why I wasn't picking it up. I was like, what's going on there? What do you mean it's out of range? How is this out of range? Layers at 0 has content at 0. Yeah, that's a thing. Add content, yeah. So that... Yeah, add content. So that should work. Layers at 0. Layers at 0. Content at 0. Add content. What's out of range? I don't get it. Okay, let me, for a second, just put a string here and see if that was the issue. Ah, now we're running into text issues. What do you mean? It's right there. I can see it. I can see it right there. Why are you lying to me? Oh, because we need to return a function. Right. What am I doing? There we go. Silly me. Okay, text object has no visible attribute. Did I forget? I think I forgot to do visible. Okay. It puts it in 2 windows. Yeah, I know what that is. Put this here, it's gonna like copy the definition. There we go. Excuse me? That shouldn't be happening. They should be returning 2 separate windows that... Why would this touch both windows? That's weird. Oh, wait, are both windows maybe sharing their buffers? I don't see why they would. That's strange. Oops. So yeah, these should be 2 separate window objects. They shouldn't be sharing this text. That is a problem. How did I create them before? Like, look, here. They're totally different, even though they use the same, like, thing. But they end up being different objects here. So why is it that this sets both windows to have text on them? That doesn't make any sense. Okay, here's our two menu objects, or two windows. Okay. See, look, they're even at different... Wait, no, those are the borders. Yeah, the window objects are at different positions in memory. So what's wrong with content? Why is this being shared? That doesn't make any sense. What the fuck? Python is super weird when it does stuff like this. So what we gotta do then is we need to figure out how to get these to not be linked to each other. I don't know why they are. D3AO, D490. Okay, so these are separate objects. They are unique. Why would this get the text? That makes no sense. It's saying self, so it shouldn't... What? Content is an empty list here, so their content variables shouldn't be linked like they are. That doesn't make any sense. Let's see. I'm gonna Google this issue. I don't know. I don't see why this is happening. That makes no sense. And see, like, when we do the X and Y pause here, it only moved that top window. It doesn't move both windows. So this works. But why does this update both windows with the text? That makes no sense. Okay, let me just close this. What do we do to fix this? Okay, weird. Huh. So, I don't know why it is, but if we don't specify an empty set here and just let it do its default constructor for the content of the window, it ends up making, like, a duplicate in the... That's so fucked up. Why would it do that? Alright, so we can't actually use the default constructor there. Or maybe I have to put none instead of empty set, which is a problem. But yeah, so it'll link it together if we don't do it like this. That is super strange. There you go. Now let's see if they're still tied together. No, okay. Very, very strange. I don't know what's up with that. Alright. Well, such is life, I suppose. Alright, well, it's almost 10. I got class tomorrow. I'm also starving. I think pretty soon here I'm gonna wrap it up. Let's see. Ah, so one of these lists are giving us an index out of range. I don't know why. Oh, actors at 0 is nothing, isn't it? Silly me. I think. Wait, no? Actors should be something. Oh, because we never do... Oh, okay, right, because we never go through the main menu to make an actor. Duh. Silly me. Alright, initialize game. There it is. We need to append the player. There we go. Look at that. So now... How many lines is that? Like 7 or 8? Okay, so now this should show all our stats. Uh-oh. Hello, Pawn. So we're a little bit funky. Oh, because the X and Y pause, right, we're not setting those correctly. Silly me. Would you look at that? Okay, the line is a bit fucked. Oh, right, those extra characters were the connection side points to make the line, like, yeah. I think I might... I don't know. I might want to rethink how that works in a window, but I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do that. Oh, well, there it goes. What is this? Oh, that's, I think, yeah, that's, oh. This is for the pause menu. Okay, yeah, I don't really need that right now. Now the combat log is an array, so we're probably gonna have to do something to process this properly for adding it to the other window. Yeah. If we just add .text, does that fix it? I mean, technically. I don't know if it'll actually work, but, you know. Okay, if we push a button, let's push some text. How does it work? Combat log .push line. I doubt it's gonna work, but yeah, it doesn't work. Also, for some reason, I guess because they're on the same layer, I don't know. Yeah, they wouldn't be on top of each other, they just intersect and draw funkily. If they were on different layers, they would probably overlap properly. All right. So let's stop moving the window. So yeah, the text that we're passing in is now an array. It's not just a single line. So we either have to like loop through it here to add content to the layer, or we need to loop through it somewhere else. I don't know. This also is gonna have to be a scrollable window, a different kind and everything, so... Anyways, I think I'm gonna save it there. We got a good amount of progress done on the new UI code, so it's a little bit cleaner and better. I may rename this. I don't know if I love just calling it content, especially when I have like... Or I might rename this to add item or something. Just so we don't have like repeated words that don't really mean a lot from each other. And this, like, this could be renamed to Windows. Instead of content. That would actually go a long way. Because it's a list of windows. It's not just anything in here. This is very specifically Windows. There we go. So that, I think that makes it a lot more clear. So in the layer, in all these layers, we pick layer 0. In all the windows it has, we pick window 0. Yeah, okay. That makes a lot more sense. Okay. Alright, so all that's left now is we gotta add add clickable buttons, hoverable text, and a scrollable window. That's all we gotta do now. And I'll probably take care of that in my own time and stuff, work on this a little bit more tomorrow or something. Anyways, I think that's gonna wrap it up for tonight. I am starving, so I'm gonna go get some food and then probably go to bed soon, because I got classes tomorrow. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Hope you have a good day tomorrow. And if you are interested in watching video games, we'll be back with RimWorld on Wednesday, because that was requested. So we'll play ourselves some RimWorld. Anyways, have a good day. Have a good night. See you next time.